Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we dive into the importance of one key beer ingredient, water. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. I feel like I should have cheersed with water then. I should have been like, woo, water. I didn't do
it. Probably. I tried to do so I wrote this in I wrote it in a few different ways where I was like, oh, I need to make like a swimming pun or something like that. And I wrote a few different ways, and then I was like, I don't know if this will really translate. And then I was like, yeah, so pardon the mess behind me, guys. I'm going on holiday.
Cheers.
So there's a lot. I know that I'm usually messy behind me, but I'm exceptionally messy behind me. So yeah, I thought I'd address the elephant in the room. This cooler over there, the bags of stuff. I'm packing up my beers to go on holiday.
Oh, what are you taking with you?
It's the great selection process of what do you take with you? So
what if you suddenly fancy something that you haven't got and you're like,
well, that's it. It's the selection, and then I've got to think about it, and then I'm like, oh, let's check the weather. Oh, it's going to be, I'm only going to Wales, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be rainy and 17 degrees. It's not going to be the sunniest, so it's not it's not the ideal for it's not I want to sit outside and have a beer in the sun sort of thing. But saying that, I always pack sours anyways. So that is sours and IPA. I mean, I've got a bit of everything really. Got lots of stouts at the moment.
That'd be all right for rainy.
Yeah. Stouts are, But then I haven't finished picking everything out yet, but I have put mine in Ninkasi Rosé in there because I was like,
ooh, that's a good sharer.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I think anyone will share it with me, but we have Prosecco drinkers, so I'm really
treat yourself and drink the whole thing yourself. You're on holiday.
I'm really hoping that the Prosecco drinkers among us might be like, oh, what's that? And then not realizing maybe drink something. Oh, this is nice. And then have it. So we'll see. But yeah, the selection process is still happening. I am going to take my last US smoothie sour, and then probably a bunch of other things that are getting close to the best before, just to clear out the stock. So it's my beer selection process. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about.
That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about water, which is, I mean, pretty important to beer, because
I would argue it's one of the 4 most important ingredients.
I mean, beer is 90% water, so it's pretty important. I mean, obviously nowadays, because we have the technology, brewers can tweak their water profiles to anything that they like. But back in the day, when they were just, using the local water, it could really determine what kind of beer you were actually successful at brewing. And in fact, dear listeners, some of the most famous beer styles have developed in particular areas of the world because of the water that was there. So we thought we'd tell you a little bit about it and maybe try some of those. And I'm very excited about this because if you have listened to any of the episodes before, you may have heard that my favourite beer is a Sam Adams Boston Lager, and it was the first beer that ever got me into beer. And you may have heard me tell the story about how over here it's brewed by Shepherd Neame, who are down the road from me, and I went and tried theirs, and I was just it's just not quite the same.
I did call it fake ass.
Yeah, she called it fake Sam Adams just now. It's fake Sam Adams.
I did call it specifically fake ass.
Fake ass Sam Adams. No, I was being polite, but Tori isn't. And when I spoke to them about it, they were like, yeah, we just can't quite get the water the same as Boston. So drum roll, because Tori has brought back some actual Boston lager, and we're going to try it next to the Sam Adams version, next to the Shepherd Neame version. Correct myself there, and see if we can taste the difference.
It's when I say fake ass Sam Adams, no disrespect to Shepherd Neame. I mean, they can probably I mean,
it's the best we're gonna get over here.
The recipe is the exact same. Effectively, it's again, that's what this episode's about. How much water profiles can impact things. I think if you don't know, Boston water profile. I mean, just the hardness level of Boston water, it's soft to I think like slightly hard, whereas with Shepanim it's hard to very hard. So that already is like one thing that's, I mean, my hair noticed that when I moved to this country. I was used to like nice soft water, and then I came over here and I was like, oh, why is my hair gross? And then it's not that that's specifically what one of the other causes, but it's like when your hair's used to having like one type of water, it takes a while to adjust. And I just remember the first time I came over, I was like, ugh, my hair feels terrible. And it was because it was not used to having hard water. So because we get it like around Berkshire area as well. So yeah, it's interesting. No disrespect to Shepherdine. It's just, I call you fake ass because it's never going to taste like
it's never going to be the same. It's very, very close, but it's not quite the same. Shall I tell you?
I say that what's going to happen is, before we actually get into tasting it, I'm going to have Rick like give me a blind taste test of it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee I'm going to be like, oh, this one's amazing. And then he's going to be like, drum roll, that is Shepherd Neems. I'm putting my reputation
as a Bostonian on the line.
I will remove my Massachusetts sign if I get it right. I'm not committing to that.
I love it. Shall I tell you about some of these historical areas where beers have developed? Would you like to hear about that?
I think I'm supping on one as we speak, because coincidentally we timed this with a beer tent. You can join Beer Tent. Go look at Joe's website to learn all about that. We had a
patreon.com/love beer learning. You can join Beer Tent there.
All about this particular style. So I'm finishing off what we had at Beer Tent earlier today.
Yeah, we are drinking a Gose. So we're both drinking this one from Pula, which is Merry.
I pronounce it Pahala.
Right, so I think it's Pula. We might both be wrong, but I think I looked it up and that's what
someone tell us.
Please tell us we're saying it horribly wrong, because we probably are.
Pahala.
This is. That's why I say it really quickly. I use your technique, just say it really quickly.
And then they're like, oh, it's fine. I said it.
I said it. What are you talking about? I said it.
That's the exact one I said. The right one is the exact one.
That's what I said. That's what I said. This is the Merry Gose, which is wheat beer brewed with coriander seeds and pink Himalayan rock salt. Now, the Gose is significant because it was first created in a town in Lower Saxony in Germany called Goslar, which is on the Gose River. Now, the Gose River is slightly salty. We're not talking like seawater type salty. It's just kind of a touch of salt. And some people say that, like, obviously they were using that water to brew with, so their beer got a bit of saltiness to it. Other people say that it just, because they knew the taste of that water, it influenced their brewing techniques, and they added a little bit of salt to their beers. Now, when it goes, it shouldn't be like overpoweringly salty. It is a restrained use of salt and coriander in a more traditional version. And the salt just kind of lifts all of the flavors and makes it like, my favorite description that we've had today about this is like a fresh sea breeze. So it'll be in the aroma, and then you've just kind of got that mouth-watering quality in it when you have it. So we've both got this one from Pula. I'm saying right.
I'm sticking to it. We're going to have two distinct teams. I'm going to stick with Team Pahala, and it's going to be really great when someone corrects it and says both of you
you're both
are
horribly wrong.
1 star.
Perfectly right, yeah. 1 star review. But they work really well together. I'll come back. And this, so I think this has got pink Himalayan salt in it that the brewers have decided to add to the beer. I think it makes it extra salty. You said you don't get any salt in it at all.
So okay, so when we first had it, so it has changed quite a bit, and I wonder if it's just having been left out a bit longer or what, like the temperature changed it maybe. Yeah. But originally, like, I admittedly did find it a bit one note. Like, I didn't really get a lot of saltiness, and I didn't really get.
Did you not get the coriander?
No, I didn't really get a lot of much, to be honest. It's one of those things that the smell, to me, it smelled a bit more lime, and you could like tell it was a bit tart. And there was sort of this like clean freshness to it,
Yeah.
which was nice.
Yeah.
In the smell, and then in the taste, I didn't really get the salt much. I didn't really get much of anything. But actually, I put it back in the fridge while we sort of set everything up.
We faffed.
Yeah, we faffed. Yeah, we fannied about, for lack of a better phrase. And drinking it now, there is definitely, I do get more. I think more of the. I still get lime versus lemon. I think you got a bit of lemon on it. I still get a bit more lime.
That kind of lemony coriander.
I think I get more Himalayan salt, but it's not, maybe because of the Himalayan salt versus like normal salt, it wasn't as overtly salty, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's more flavor to it than when I had it originally as my first beer as well. And I made sure I had a big drink of water because I was drinking some other more fruitier, very distinct flavored ones. So I want to make sure that wasn't impacted at all. But I definitely get more flavor in it now, and it's quite nice. It's very sessionable, very lovely.
Yeah. So I actually also have one of the originals. So though this beer started in Goslar, where the river was, it was then popularized in a town a little bit further over called Leipzig. And this is one of the originals that I'm showing you now. It is from, I'm never going to say this right.
Just say it really quick.
Bayerischer Bahnhof, which is a German brewery. And they kind of call them, they say that they brought Gose back after it kind of died off a bit in the traditional sense. And then obviously craft breweries have grabbed the style, and it's a really good base for like fruited sour beers. So, but this is like what BJCP says is one of the commercial examples if you want to know what one really tastes like. And when I compared this one to the Pula one, it like, because it's a wheat beer, it's got a bit of like bready doughiness to it, and then there's a lemoniness coming from the coriander, and then there's just a touch of salt that makes it mouth-watering but dries it out. And I think when I drink that and then I drink the other one, I get the saltiness from the pink Himalayan salt more because I'm comparing the two.
I'm wondering if it's because I've tried a few different, like at first it seemed very like one note, and then I had a few other ones, went back to it, and there is more depth to the flavor that kind of wasn't there before. And I wonder if it was just maybe, you know, my palate just had to adjust to all these different, more bold flavors.
I mean, they're complex beers still.
But also I think the temperature probably had changed a bit as well. I think it's a little bit colder than maybe it was. And I think I started off in the like chiller that I've got, and then moved it to the fridge where like it was a lot colder. So I do wonder if that sort of like played into it. But when you said like they claim to be bringing the style back, like my brain went to like, you know how some people, so we call it like I say Gose, you know how some people say like Goza,
yeah.
When you said like, oh, bringing the style back, I just thought of like someone needs to get on TikTok and do a cover of I'm bringing sexy back, but like saying bringing Goza back.
Yeah. They also
say I'm bringing Gose back. It doesn't work. You have to say Goza.
I'm trying to find it now. They also, it must be in my notes.
Bonus points if someone can create I'm bringing sexy back with Goza and make a video on it. I will definitely share it. Give it all the love.
I'm gonna work on this tonight now because I've got all these Gose open. I'm gonna do it. So this brewery also coined the phrase Gozana to say instead of cheers when you're drinking a Gose. And on brewery tours, they swear that historical drinkers used to say this, but in fact, they made it up in the 1980s.
And I'm also going to say, like, declaring where I am at the moment, I am not a religious human being at all. Like, personally, I am not a religious person, right? But I was raised in a Catholic household, and like I was raised having to go to church as a kid. No, it's true. She wouldn't disagree with this. I was raised Catholic as a child. Yeah. Went to church as a child until I was allowed to make my own choice to not go. And I remember they've got like the psalm or the whatever hymnal, whatever you call it, that's like Hosanna in the highest.
Yeah.
Now I really want someone. My mum will not like this one. I'm
Your
really
mum
sorry,
being so upset about this.
But I really want someone to make a Gose on Somebody to make like the Church of Beer, and the main hymnal in the Church of Beer is Gose in the highest. I'm really sorry that
if hell exists, we're probably gonna go there.
I'm okay with that because that's where the people that drink and do all the fun stuff go.
It's
true.
I'm good with it. It's where the cats will be.
I just can't help it. Like the second you said Gose, like my brain was like Gose in the highest.
I knew it would, which is why I had to share it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mum. Please don't be mad at me.
Anyway, that's Gose for you.
Also, I apologize to those religious. It's not. It's everyone's entitled to their own thing, but you can't say Gose and then be like, don't think about that. Like it's so easy to just not make that connection.
Anyway, while we're sipping on our Goses and cheers.
So what was the
Gosana?
What was the other Gosana you had? Because that's what I'm going to refer to it as now, because I really like that.
So I had this excellent Vava Captain Salt. If you can find this anywhere, because obviously some places have bought up all of Vava's beers so that we can get money to the brewery while they're struggling out there in the Ukraine. I managed to grab this from Siren. If anywhere has got it, I highly recommend it. Out of all the Goses that I tried tonight, this is absolutely beautiful. Like the coriander is coming through in like a lime and lemoniness. The salt is just lifting everything. It's absolutely beautiful.
And I love the label on it as well. Like the label itself
it's
also
beautiful.
Was just...
It's got the Vava Viking man in the middle, and then it's got swallows.
I love the swallows,
nautical swallows, and like a tattooy type heart on it. I think it's beautiful.
And then I think it's probably dating it at this point, but yeah, thoughts go out to Vava because they recently lost one of their brewery members, who I know like a lot of people over. There was a bunch of people over here who had quite close relationships with them and were quite close. And yeah, that's unfortunate to hear. I don't think they're probably going to hear this episode, but thoughts go out to that, because that is thoughts to the family and the rest of the brewery, really. So anyone that knew him, that's so that's, I mean, I've got a Vava that I'm holding on to. It's a grape, I think it's a grape.
I've got that
the sour grape ale. Is it it's not Sweet Child of Mine, but it's like a play on that name.
Yeah.
It's sweet. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm really excited to have it. I bought it for the style, and then the name was also quite fun. So I was like, it's exciting. I wanted to buy something. I love a punny name. The label's cool. I wanted to support Vava, and
ticks all the boxes.
It's a really brilliant style. So I was like, I haven't had it yet. I'm saving it for a nice occasion. So you've got that one, and I've got Dolphin Brewery's Superstar Ginger Gose, which is still within its BBE and it's tasting great. Like I know that I bought a bunch of, like, apologies, I've done Dolphin dirty, where I like bought a bunch of them when I could get them, and then I like held on to them for this is what I do, is I like buy beers and I'm like, I need to wait for the right occasion. Like certain ones I'm like, this requires a more special occasion than just having a beer. I want to share it with someone. I want to share the experience, something like that. So I did Dolphin a bit dirty, but this one's definitely within its BBE, and I've still, even if it's past its BBE, I've not had one from them that's actually been bad. They've all been really good, really tasty, and this one is so complex. It smells very ginger, so I was expecting it not in a spicy way, but just in a really nice balanced way, and I was expecting it to be like really, really heavily gingery, but it's not, and I get a salt in it, and I quite like it. It's really very, very interesting, very complex, and I really like how the smell is so different from the taste, that it's by taste I would go definitely a Gose. If I was doing it by smell, I probably wouldn't have guessed Gose. So
that's exciting.
Yes, very, very interesting stuff.
Well, do you want to carry on sipping on your Gose while I talk about historical brewing regions?
Please do. I'm gonna have the rest of my Dolphin.
Enjoy. Right, so London, Dublin, and Munich all have water that has calcium carbonate in it. Now, this comes from the water being in carbonate. This comes from the water being in contact with limestone and gives it a higher pH level. So like my water down here will be the same because I'm right near Dover, I'm right near the White Cliffs. So our water is going through that limestone and it's getting a higher pH. This brings out the astringency and harsh bitterness from hops. So you don't really want that in your beers. If you're making hoppy beers, they're not going to taste as good because these unwanted traits and like too much bitterness and astringency from the hop is going to be heightened just by the water that you've got. Now, obviously brewers can change the water profiles now if they want to, but back in the day, they'd use the water that they got. So these cities ended up focusing on malt forward beers and darker malts in their beers. So this is because dark malts have some acidity from where they've been roasted and kilned longer, and that balances out the pH. So for example, Dublin developed Guinness, London developed porters and stouts, and Munich has the Munich Dunkel. So they all use darker malts. That's balancing out the pH of that water, and they just make really fantastic dark beers. I use tap water when I'm brewing here. My dark beers always come out better than my hoppy beers because I'm using the water that's there. So that's those. However, hoppy beers can work really well in somewhere that has water that is full of calcium sulfate, or this is more known as gypsum. And this means that they have permanently hard water. So if in the other areas when they've got calcium carbonate, that can be boiled to get rid of it, and it's hard, but it can be boiled off and you can get rid of it if you want to. I mean, obviously you'd have to boil a huge amount of water to make a massive batch of beer, so it's not really feasible. But in places like Burton-on-Trent, they have permanently hard water and there isn't anything you can do about that. But this is how English Pale Ale and English IPA became to be developed, because having calcium sulfate in your brewing water means that you get crisp, dry, hoppy beers. It increases enzyme efficiency and it encourages fermentation, and therefore it encourages the yeast to settle out. So you end up with a dry beer, which means you want to drink more of it. It's really clean, it's really clear, and it accentuates the hop bitterness, making it assertive but not astringent. And it also means that there's more attenuation because the yeast is really happy with that water and does its job really well. So you get a dry beer, you get a nice bitter hoppy beer. It's really refreshing and clean to drink. Hello, English IPAs. They were brewed really well in Burton-on-Trent. And finally, we have soft water. Now, soft water basically hasn't really got any minerals in it at all. And somewhere that has soft water is Pilsen in what is now the Czech Republic. And we know what came from Pilsen, the Czech Pilsner, which was then recreated in Germany as a German Pilsner. But by having that really soft water, it means that the malts and the hops can really balance out really well and round out, and you get a lovely bready but with a bit of spiciness from the hops. You get like those lovely flavors that you get in a Czech Pilsner that are all lovely and rounded and crisp and beautiful. It's all because the water is soft. There's no minerals upsetting it, and it's all about the hops and the malt. Now, interestingly, somewhere else that has a very similar water profile to Pilsen in the Czech Republic is Birmingham. Who knew? I mean, apparently, I tell you who did know. Attic Brew Co knew.
I was going to say I knew, but only because of Attic.
Because Attic Brew Co was like, oh, our water is actually just like that in Pilsen in the Czech Republic. We might be able to make a really good Czech Pilsner, which we can attest they do. So Attic Brew Co wrote a blog post about their water and about their brewing process to create this Czech Pilsner. I'll link it in the show notes. It's really interesting. But we thought it'd be really interesting to compare your ultimate Czech Pilsner, which is Pilsner Urquell, against the Attic Pilsner and see what we thought. However, at the time that we decided to do this, we couldn't get the Pilsner in any cans. But lucky us, it was one of the beers that Kimberly, Craft Beer Pinup, had picked as one of her beers to have on the bar at
Arundel.
At Arundel Brewfest. And so we were sneaky and we snuck in a Pilsner Urquell. And before the session started on the
time out. I don't like to break rules.
We didn't really sneak it in.
I like to know the rules before I break them. And I am like, you can ask my in-laws, like I'm the person that's like, we're going into Ascot and they're like, we're going to take an extra bottle of fizz. And I was like, no, we mustn't. We're going to get in so much trouble for that. I asked before we took the
we asked. We checked with Ellie and she
Joe
was
probably
like,
would have been like, yeah, we'll just go. It'll be fine. I was like, we need to ask permission. I couldn't possibly do that.
They were really nice and kept our beer in their fridge as well. So it was the right temperature. We got some of the Attic and we compared it to the Pilsner Urquell on the Saturday morning before the session started. So let's cut in to our recording of that now. Right, we are outside. Look,
Arundel.
we are at Arundel Brewfest. Now, the reason we are recording this here outside rather than the usual for this water episode is because we wanted to try this lovely Birmingham Pilsner from Attic, and we weren't able to get it in cans.
We couldn't find it. I scoured the internet, found it nowhere, but it is pouring from Craft Beer Pinup Kimberly's bar.
Yeah, at Arundel Beerfest. So
we're here. It would have been a wasted opportunity.
We're here. So we've snuck in a Pilsner Urquell so we can compare the two, because the Birmingham Pilsner is a Czech Pilsner, or to give it its proper BJCP name, which is a Czech premium pale lager, because no other Czech Pilsner is allowed to be called a Czech Pilsner other than Pilsner Urquell, because that's the first one. Everyone else can call it a Czech Pilsner though, that's fine, around the world. But it turns out that the water profile in Birmingham is incredibly similar to that in Pilsen in the Czech Republic, where Czech Pilsner comes from. So Attic made this beautiful beer, which actually we had to take off on the first session of the festival because it was going down far too well.
I was like, panic was setting in because we haven't recorded yet.
Yeah.
And then it was like everyone coming up being like, I want that Pilsner. Like people coming back for
it.
I haven't even tried it yet.
All day long.
For me, I've not tried it yet at all. She tried it.
I have. It's good.
We had to kick it.
Yeah.
So that there would be some for today, some for us. We didn't do it for selfish reasons. It was so that people today could try it.
Yeah.
But
unless you come to the evening session, you may have missed it. We'll see. We'll see how quickly this goes out. But
I mean, to be fair, I don't know. They might can it, but I don't think so because I read
feel like
that
they did can it.
They might have canned it already because when I looked, it was released in Feb.
Yeah.
The article that we found was from February.
Very good article on the Attic blog. We'll put it in the show notes for you to have a look at.
But yeah, that was February this year, and then I've not seen it anywhere.
No, I've not seen it anywhere, and it is an excellent
We might have missed
beer.
it, or maybe it's I don't know, aging somewhere to be released.
So we're talking about water in this episode. The thing about this beer is the reason that Czech Pilsner has come out the way that it has is because the water in Pilsen is soft, so it's got like hardly any minerals in it. That means that the hops and the malt really shine through, and it rounds out those hops. You don't end up with like harsh astringency or heightening the bitterness. You just get a really rounded, malty, slightly spicy hop in your beer. So this is slightly different from places like Munich and London and Dublin. So they have temporary hard water, which has got calcium carbonate in it, and that makes the hops astringent. So that's how come slightly darker beers became popular from those areas. It's not like the water in Buxton, where that has calcium sulfate in it, and that heightens the bitterness of the hops, which was great for pale ales and eventually IPAs, because those happened around that area. But because in Pilsen they had soft water, they were able to produce this lovely, rounded, balanced Pilsner that we all enjoy around the world today. So we're going to compare. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop talking now. We're going to compare the Attic to a National Pilsner Urquell. Thank you, Arundel, for allowing us to keep our Pilsner Urquell in your fridge.
Yeah, thank you. Special shout out as well
Yeah.
to Ellie. Like, she
Yeah.
has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Like our boss this whole time, keeping the order, getting things going, and letting us store things in the fridge, and making sure no one drank the things that we stored in the fridge. So,
all right.
Cheers. You notice right away it smells very bready.
It smells very bready.
I love it. I love the smell of the
it's got
breadiness,
that
and there's that
really-
like sweetness to it. There's that like lovely sweetness. It's not. This isn't too carbonated. It's just that right amount of carbonation.
It's such a day drinking beer in the sun, and the clouds have come over a little bit now, but
It
previously
was sunny out earlier.
it was really lovely and
Had the
sunny.
sun on.
Perfect beer to be sat drinking in the sun and to start you off, and to have with food. Lots of people were coming back and getting it when they were having their dinner last night. So
Yeah, the food was tacos and there was like Greek
street food.
heroes, that kind of stuff. And I think it would pair really well with one of those Greek wraps. I mean, like I said, this is the first time I've had it, and I totally understand now why people were coming back again and again to get it, because it's really nice. It's all the parts that I like from Pilsner. It's all the best
bready,
parts.
grainy, impression of sweetness, really easy drinking.
There's some dryness towards the end that makes it very I always find that the carbonation and the dryness levels make things a bit more moreish, like you want to just keep going back for more and more sips, and that's how I feel with this. It's really nice.
That's good. Right, you can't drink
Before
all
I
of
drink
it.
any more of it, I've just got coffee in my mouth. Let me just get the flavour.
Right, I'm going to open the Pilsner Urquell. Here we go. I've even got women's brew. Oh god, I can't. That's going there.
We're in nature's
We are in
territory
nature.
now.
Everything's flowing around. Oh god. Right, here we go. Oh, she foamy. That's our word of the weekend.
The word of our weekend is she foamy.
Right.
Because we all know that.
And all the beers are girls.
They're all female. We decided to just call them all her.
They're basically exactly the same colour.
Yeah.
I forgot my glass, so I've got this lovely
The good
plastic
thing
one.
is you will be able to tell the difference between yours. So these are.
They're basically
I'll hold these
almost
up.
exactly the same
Could
colour.
you tell the difference if you
If
can
you
look
put them
at
down
this?
next to each other, I would say if you look really hard,
There's more.
the Birmingham one has a very, very slight haze to it. I like a very, very slight.
I would say that
But that's probably
there's less bubbles.
Yeah,
but
so
I
the
also don't know
bubbles-
if it had been sat there.
the bubbles are smaller, and the Pilsner Urquell ones are fatter.
They're quicker moving as well,
Yeah.
and there's more of them in the
Yeah.
Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. And I would say that it's maybe a touch clearer physically in appearance.
Yes. Yeah.
But in terms of like the actual shade, I think they're pretty spot on.
Aroma wise, I get more sweetness from the Pilsner Urquell. I get a bit more like hay and grass from the Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah, grass, yeah.
Yeah.
Hay, I don't know about hay for
I
me.
don't think that's just because we're sat outside either.
I don't think I
Whereas
get more bready from the Attic
Yeah,
and
that's
less
what I was going to say.
bready from the
Yeah.
Pils.
Right, I'm going in. That's a lot drier,
Yeah.
and it's not got that same like the impression of sweetness in it. And there's a touch of bitterness from the the Czech hops, not German hops.
Don't
They are
you
Czech.
dare.
From the, I believe it's made with SARS. So there's a touch of bitterness right at the end. It's just a hit, just to clean off your palate. But I like.
I would say the
Birmingham
the level of dryness is maybe they are very comparable. So like I wouldn't sit and have them
No,
and
no.
go they're nothing alike
No,
or
they're
anything like that. They
they're
are very
similar.
comparable. If we're being exceptionally nitpicky on it
Mm-hmm.
because our whole thing is trying to see how they align with each other, and I would say that the dryness on the Pilsner. Well, I feel like I can just call it a
say which
Pilsner,
one.
and so
Yeah.
because it's like they're both Pilsners. Yeah, of course they're both Pilsners, but the dryness on that is a touch higher.
Yeah.
And I think there's maybe a slight bit more carbonation in
Yeah.
that than the Attic. It makes me want to burp more
It's a
having
good,
this one
good
than having the
qualifying
Attic.
amount there.
I think I agree that actually when it comes down to it, I like Attics better. But I do think
They're very, very similar.
They're very similar.
Very similar. I find that there's the Pilsner Urquell is a lot cleaner, but I like I think there's a touch more body in the Birmingham
and I
Pilsner.
think as a
This
person
is
that,
very, very slight. Like you could literally pick these two up and think you're drinking the same thing.
especially after a few drinks, like if you had a few drinks, I don't think.
No.
And I think it helps that we've had them side by side.
Yeah.
If you weren't having them side by side, I think the only thing that I would probably notice was different was the bitterness.
Yes.
Because the Attic's not as bitter, and I think that's because I'm more sensitive to bitterness, because I don't like bitterness as much. Although, I don't know, it's grown on me depending on the beers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it fits in perfectly, and without it, you're like,
It depends on the other balance of the other things that are in it, doesn't it?
Whereas I think because these are, like you said, quite clean, quite straightforward, like all that, I think the bitterness stands out a bit more, and can be more harsh in it. So I think I like the Attic more personally because there is less bitterness. As doing them back to back.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that would stand out that I'd be able to having one after the other.
Really nitpick
But
about.
then I find that sometimes it could be like, oh, if a beer's warmer, the bitterness might stand out more.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I had this at a beer festival and I put it down, I might just, and I picked up like the other one, I might just think, oh, it's got bitter, but maybe it's been a bit warmer.
That's true. That's very true. Anyway, well done, Attic, because that's basically the same as Pilsner Urquell.
But I actually think, for me,
I like
more
that
sessionable, enjoyable. So actually,
Thanks,
really
Attic.
like
That's a really
it's
good
given me
beer.
all the things I want: the breadiness, the graininess of it, all of it, and
so
the lower bitter. So
No, we've got to go give it away to other people. So rude.
at least I've had a chance to have it now, so I'm happy. So cool. You'll probably see us back on our normal recording in a minute.
So, well done, Attic, because we actually preferred your beer to Pilsner Urquell. And I really like Pilsner Urquell. Like a Czech Pilsner is probably like one of my fave lagers.
Yeah,
So,
I just found like, I don't know, there's something very Moorish about the Attic one. And we were like really lucky that it was, so basically Kimberly's 3 taps were like next to
right next to ours.
So really when we were covering the bar, we were kind of covering like that whole space. And it was really great. Like people loved it. People kept coming up and be like,
there was like one
It was,
lady
like,
that literally that's all she drank the entire festival.
There's a few people that just came up and they were like,
that
like
one.
some people would come up and I'd be like, pills, and they were like,
they didn't even need to tell us. We just took their glass and filled it back up with pills. Like she tried, can't remember what she tried. I think she tried something else and she was just like, no, I'm going back to the pills. Well, I mean, on the Friday night we had to take it off because we were going to run out.
I was just going to say, like, so we, because of the way the sessions worked, we were like, we won't get to really record tonight. There's not kind of really any time. So why don't we just like do a recording before the next thing? And then I was thinking, I really hope people don't kind of make a mad run on it because it's a Pilsner and everything else. And then
we didn't think we were going to get any.
There's loads and loads and loads. And then literally by the end of it, I was like, there is no way that we are going to get any of this. It's all going to sell out. But thankfully, kind of the way the festival went was they were like, if you start getting low, just, you know, if you get halfway down because we need to save some for the next session, just kick that one, we'll go to the next one. And so the second it got halfway, I was like, if we don't record this first thing, it's got like the before session 1, it might be a bit early for us to start really drinking. And I was like, but it doesn't matter because if we don't do this, that's it, it's gone. Like we're not gonna have it.
We didn't even have thirds. It was fine.
Yeah, no, it was fine. But I was thinking like, if we don't do this immediately,
we weren't gonna get it in
because it was going down so well. And after having
rightly
it,
so, it's amazing. A very good beer, very good beer. So if you can get that, because I think they are canning it now, and I think this might be a sneaky spoiler. I think it might be coming core range.
Ooh.
I think they're gonna, because it went down so well. I think they are gonna keep making it. I might be lying, but I feel like that's a conversation I had.
I'm looking it up now. Oh, but now that I'm on their website, they've got all these other amazing things.
Don't look, you're gonna buy them.
They've got one called Tuck Shop, which is a rhubarb and custard sour. That's amazing. And then there's a peach and mango tipper. Yes.
Have you seen the 100% oat? IPA?
No, but I am seeing the biscuit stout. That's amazing. There's
They
a
do
dry hop lager, amazing.
They do a 100% oat IPA.
100%. Yeah, that's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I really want the sparkling barley wine.
Oh yeah,
so
we talked about
much.
that, didn't we?
Yeah, we almost got that, but it was really difficult because we almost got it when we were looking to try to get a can of this.
Yeah.
And we couldn't. And I was like, I've never had a sparkling. I almost don't want to talk about it on here because really I don't want other people to buy it. I really
don't buy it because we want it. I really like Attic Brew Co. I don't get them very often down this way necessarily, but I've had quite a few of theirs now, and they are very good.
Very good quality. Like,
yes,
I feel like everything
definitely.
is quite quality from them. So
we do.
But I mean, as people that are like, we don't we don't like lagers like that.
I'm no I haven't been I don't like lagers person for a year now. Come on.
I was gonna say
I've got my year chip. My year chip for not saying I don't like lagers.
We are a reformed anti-lager people. But I mean, like, it is I mean, even so, like, I don't say that I don't like lagers anymore because I definitely do, but I would say that I don't gravitate to them now. Like, I don't naturally go, oh, I really want to have a lager. Like, it's very rare that
you've not got as far along as me, because there are literally days now I'm like, really want a lager. Have I got one in the fridge? Because I have less I just buy less lagers, but there are days where I'm like, that's what I mean. A lager.
I choose it when I'm at a beer festival and I know it's something like Braybrook or something that I know that I'm like need to have it, or it's like, you know, a smoked lager or a black lager or something that's a bit different. I'm like, yes, I will go out of my way to buy this. But it's a normal, like, no frills type thing. I don't tend to go out of my way to be like, have to buy it. But if I'm at a beer festival and I know that it's like a really good quality brew, I'm like, yes, I want to have it. But I'm not usually in the mood at home to be like, need to have a lager. However, this one, I feel like I would actively go and buy more of that, because it's like, if I was out of bar, I would order it and like buy it, not just if it was a part of an all-in festival, because I really enjoyed it, and there was just something really Moorish about it. I feel like it would pair really well with snacks. It was just tasty. So I was really happy that Kimberly ended up picking that, and that we found out about that. So
yeah, thanks, Kimberly.
and thanks, Ellie, because I think Ellie's the one that told us on the episode about it, and we were like, need to get our hands on that. And we looked, couldn't get cans of it, but thankfully Kimberly picked it as her bit. So
amazing. Right, are we ready to compare the two Sam Adams beers?
Let's do it.
Right, so Tori is actually going to do hers blind.
Yeah, just the first part until I know. I just want to know if I can figure out the difference, and I very well might not. So I've got a special guest. My husband's going to blind do it for me.
Here they are. If you're watching the video, here they are. They look that like there's slight differences in the labeling, but
don't tell me which one's which yet. I know because I've marked it. But okay, Rick, you may open them. He was waiting for the cue because he's very good at following
Tori's glamorous assistant is working.
Yeah, my glamorous assistant is gonna.
Are we allowed to say that anymore? I said that the other week, and I'm like, is that sexist? Should we not say that anymore?
Are you saying that Rick can't be glamorous?
No, I'm not saying that Rick can't be glamorous. But is it alluding to a time where, you know, women
probably
in small?
I just say men need to take back the word glamorous. Be okay being called
men can
glamorous.
Be glamorous too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crack mine open.
Yeah, crack yours open and do
I know
yours
which way
non-blind.
around mine are. So.
Are you? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. Do you remember which one's which?
I do remember which one's which, as long as you don't swap them.
Okay.
I know which one's which until you swap them.
Okay, I'll keep this one on this side and this one on that side.
One on the right. There we go.
By all accounts, if you're watching the video, don't swap. I can't swap them because if I do, they look very similar. They look identical.
No, mine don't.
Mine do.
That's interesting.
Mine do, except one's got more carbonation. One looks a bit more. One's holding its head better and has more carbonation.
Oh no, yours are the same. So one's slightly hazier than the other. Look.
Oh, mine
very
are not.
Slightly.
Mine
no, I can see it on your camera. Yours is.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I actually hold it up to the light. Yeah, I'm gonna guess right now. I'm guessing right now.
Yeah.
Just because of which one I think looks more appealing.
Right.
This one's actual Sam Adams.
Okay.
And this one's fake ass Sam Adams.
Okay.
Let's see.
They smell different.
Yeah, this one smells breadier. And nicer. Again, I'm going to guess this one's real one. This one's fake ass Sam Adams. Okay, let's see.
Okay, I'm going to try. Oh, I'm trying.
Okay, I need some water in between.
Yeah. Oh, we should have got crackers. Do it properly.
Yeah, well, this is not super scientific.
Can be though.
Literally just got Rick going, don't swap them because I do. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Things got interesting.
So what do you think?
We also have to
Because
we also have to keep in mind as well that the Sam Adams I brought, just for reference, is
it was bottled. No, what's this? Oh, enjoy.
it probably will be the bottled by date.
Oh no. Enjoy before month notch, Jan 22.
Oh no, but I only bought it in
Yeah, you only bought it in December.
in like literally end of December, not
Yeah.
even.
So that's a really short life on it.
Yeah, which means that that's maybe I got it way earlier than that. But I got it at the end, but maybe it was already in a pack from like quite a while ago, because I got it in a mixed pack.
Oh right.
I got it when I got you the
I'm just looking.
Oktoberfest.
Oh, I've drunk that. It was delicious. I'm just trying to see if there's a Best Buy on this one.
So it's weird because I'd almost go with I would almost change my mind and say this one.
They're different alcohol levels as well. P.S.
Is Sam Adams is the real one higher ABV?
Okay.
I'm just asking yes or no.
The real Sam Adams is higher ABV. Yes.
Okay. I've changed my mind.
Okay.
This one aesthetically looks nicer.
Right.
This one aesthetically smells nicer.
Yeah.
But actually, I might hazard a guess that this one's the real one because it tastes slightly boozier and it tastes in a way, and I don't know if this makes sense. It tastes in a way that Phelan, I've got another special guest helping me. She's on the floor. You cannot see her because she's got stubby legs. It tastes in a way that I've not had a beer in the UK taste.
Okay.
If that I don't know if that sounds right. But I feel like I've had beers that over here, like more traditional style beers and stuff that taste similar to this one. I don't know if you can. Yep, there we go. We've got a guest.
Yes, she is. Hello.
Hello, beautiful.
Just come to say hi.
So I'd actually almost go with this one's the real Sam Adams,
Really?
because it tastes different to what I'm used to having over here, and it tastes boozier. And when you said there's a difference in ABV, I was like,
I'm interested to know which way. I think I know which way round yours are.
Oh no, I don't. Oh no, actually, hang on. I've had another sip, and maybe it's just because I followed this one.
I want you to find out.
It could go either way. It could go either way. It could go either way. Actually, I think this one, maybe this one is, and it's just not great. It could go either way. I'm not a fan of this one. And it could go either way. It could be that it's like, it's past its best before, so it's not great. Okay. It's not fresh, so maybe it's not great. Or maybe it's just because it's not real Sam Adams. I don't know. This is difficult. This is a difficult one for me, but I have to lock it in one way, don't I?
Yeah, you do. Because hurry up, because I want to talk about it.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me give you one more go around.
I'm sure this is thrilling for you listeners.
It's stressful because I've done this before, where I've done like things that are like quite similar and trying to be like, okay, blind go into it, which one's which, and it's not been as stressful as this. I feel like this is all my street cred. All my street cred is on the line. Okay. I'm gonna finish here. I'm gonna say this one's the real one.
Okay.
And this one's the fake ass one. All right, Rick, I need you to tell me which one's which.
Which one do you think's which?
I think this one is unfortunately the real Sam Adams.
Right, okay.
And this one's not.
How do I tell from the bottom which one's
One says, so the British one says 330ml.
The British one says 330 ml on it.
And the American
and the other
one
one's
says
going to be
12
in fluid ounces.
Yeah, it
isn't
says
it?
fluid
Yeah.
ounces.
Okay, yeah. So this one was the left one.
That was the left.
That was that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
The one with the tape on it. The 330.
330. Oh, so actually the one that tasted better was the real one.
And I can from looking at your screen, I can tell which way around they are because they look different.
See, okay.
So I knew which way around you had them. Rick's enjoying a little bit there. Which one do you think?
Don't know.
He doesn't know. They taste like beer to Rick. He's happy.
Yeah, if you take if you were to give a taster, if you had to sum it up in one word.
Tastes like beer.
Tastes like beer. Cool. Yeah, so can I just give my reasoning? Also, before you leave, Glamorous Assistant, can you give me the bottles, please? Then you can shut the door. I'm headphone bound. There's nothing I can do about this. Okay. Oh, thank you. You may leave. Appreciate your efforts. Love you. So just to explain my decision-making process there, because I was like fully like, this one looks better, this one smells better, and the taste, in my opinion, was
better. The actual Sam Adams that she's talking
about. The actual, sorry. So the actual Sam Adams. Yeah. I felt like overall was just better. And then what turns out to be the fake ass one, it just was like, it's the clearer one as opposed to the slightly hazier one. It had like no head on it, less carbonation. The smell of it was a bit more like malt, like sweet maltier, but like not. I feel like the actual Sam Adams was a bit more bready, whereas the Shepherd Neame one was a bit sweet malty, but like not in the nicest way of what I was looking for. And then when I tasted them, I would say that quite a few sips, the Shepherd Neame one almost tasted boozier, and then it threw me off when you were like, they're different ABVs. Right. And I was like, oh, this one actually tastes like it could be, because I was thinking there's something off about this taste, and I was thinking maybe it's the like alcohol content of it. So effectively, I was expecting it to be more. The Shepherd Neame one's 4.8%, and the actual Sam Adams is 5%. And I was thinking it was maybe a bit higher. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a little bit higher and it just doesn't hide the alcohol very well. And it just tasted off. It didn't taste right. And then I was thinking, well, actually, it is past its best before date. So maybe it's a bit the alcohol content. Maybe it didn't travel very well. Like, I don't know.
You talked yourself out.
So I was willing to be like, everything about this one was too perfect. I bet it's this one. And I'm really happy it's not. To be fair, I was gung-ho about this one being the actual Sam Adams, the correct one about being the actual Sam Adams I was hands down like, that is it. And then I started to have doubts and I was like, I don't know. So that was an interesting experiment. That was fun.
So I agree about so I get more like almost like a touch of caramel in the actual Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Because
there's that bready, sweetness, but
sweetness, there's like not quite caramel, but there's a sweetness.
Yeah. But it's not bready, that overly malty sweetness.
Yeah, it's not a massive.
Can sometimes be too much.
It's quite subtle.
Yeah.
In its aroma.
I would say caramelly. I would say it's a caramelized
taste. Like it's just more.
It's nicer,
rounded. Like it's almost softer, rounded. Like there's that lovely dark. Like there's a bit of bread crust, like nice toasty bread crust.
It's far more sessionable. Like I probably wouldn't drink more, to be completely honest. I know Shepherd Neame's definitely not going to hear this. I probably wouldn't drink more of the Shepherd Neame one. If it wasn't for the sake of science for this episode, I probably would be like, yeah, actually I'm okay. Like it for me, the Shepherd Neame one's tough drinking.
I think it smells and tastes like Shepherd Neame. So I'm from Kent. Shepherd Neame is everywhere near me. I'm down the road from Faversham, where Shepherd Neame is based. I've drunk a lot of Shepherd Neame beer. It smells and tastes like Shepherd Neame. There's something about it that is Shepherd Neame.
You did have the advantage there.
Yeah,
to me, I was just like
I knew.
It's interesting though, because the actual Sam Adams Boston Lager, it was very much like when I tasted it, I was like, I've had those tastes before. It's like something I've tasted before. And then I was thinking, like, I've had things over here that do taste very similar to it. So I was like, yeah, like maybe I was clutching at stone, whatever that phrase is.
Straws,
that's the one. I don't know why I said stones. I was just like, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I was clutching at straws to be like, it's something that I'm familiar with, this taste. And I think I've had some more traditional type beers, that traditional lagers and everything else that tasted similar to that. And so I was like, okay, maybe I've had something that is like Shepherd Neame based, that is a similar taste. And maybe the other one is so dramatically different that I'm thinking, oh, that one has to be the Boston Lager. But I was thinking, that's not the Boston Lager that I'm used to drinking. Well, I thought it's just probably not traveled well. Or
so the thing about it is, the same flavors are there in the Shepherd Neame version, but it's slightly harsher. Like the Boston version is rounded. And this is literally going to be because of the water. This softer water is rounding out the malts and the hops and making this really drinkable.
I genuinely question though.
This one, they're using water from down here. Like they can try and strip stuff out of it, but it's still that it's just harsher because of the water that's from here. Like, it's okay, but mate, if I could get me a supply of like a good steady supply of Boston Sam Adams, I would be a happy person.
I feel really horrible because like in my opinion, I'm like, you're being very generous to be like, it's okay. Like, I don't even personally
I say it's okay, but I say it's okay because if I want a Sam Adams, that's the one I've got to drink now. I'm putting the actual one. I think
I'd rather just not. Like, I think I genuinely would rather not. If you look at the labels, if you're looking at the video as well, they are very, the labels are, obviously, is it a contract thing, effectively? They kind of contract brew for Sam Adams, so it isn't like a case of, it is very much like they're doing it for Sam Adams. So all the labeling is the same, except for the top. The top's a bit different, and then obviously the back of the label, if I show you that, is a bit different as well. And then you've got like the dates on the side, because they do their dates a bit different. So those are all like the
I'm trying to see if I could find a best before on the British one, but I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, that's interesting that they don't have one on there.
Yeah,
because normally it's the US ones that are hard to find the best before.
It's usually printed on the neck or something, but it's not. I cannot find it.
But yeah, I mean, I personally, just to think, like, it makes they're so dramatically different that it makes me question: is it literally just the water profile that's different?
I think so.
Like, is there nothing else that's different? Like, is there not even like the?
I wonder if the British one isn't, because this is still a lager, so you've got to leave it the right amount of time to condition. I'm wondering if this isn't conditioned long enough, if it's pushed through too quickly. And I wonder if Shepherd Neame are using their lager yeast.
Well, because that's what I was wondering, is it might be literally the same ingredients, but like, is it literally identical? Like, we are using the same,
I don't know,
exact.
I wonder if it's the yeast that's different, because I feel like they probably use, Shepherd Neame yeast, and whether this uses a Shepherd Neame ale yeast, and that's also adding to the difference of the flavors.
I feel like Sam Adams, they did you dirty. Like, I'm gonna just be totally blunt about it. I'm just like, oh, I was willing to take the L for like the actual Sam Adams, and
but look
like,
at that,
maybe Shepherd Neame did it all right.
I've got my real Sam Adams in my Sam Adams glass because I'm that much of a fangirl. Look at how that head's lasting.
I don't even have a Sam Adams glass.
You need to get one the next time you're over there. I'm going to pop a bit more of this in here, but
it was the same. That was part of the reason why
the head does not last. It's incredibly clear, I quite like that the Sam Adams one has just got a little bit of haze in it, just a touch. Like it's clear.
Look at those
just a little bit of
carby
haze.
bubbles.
I know there's beautiful, tiny, tight carbonation bubbles. There's hardly any in the
like if I pour
Shepherd
that
Neame.
I'll pour that one right in the same exact way. Like maybe the same amount of head forms.
It's
the same amount of head
clear,
forms, but
it doesn't last. It just
doesn't
disappears.
last as long.
Like mine's gone almost.
And that's it's
it makes me so sad.
just
It
a
just
sad
means
interpretation.
It just means that if I want a Sam Adams, that this one just doesn't cut the mustard.
I said I was willing to take the L for the actual Sam Adams. I was like, you know what? We done fucked up. It wasn't fresh enough. Maybe the taste was off. But nope. The good one was the right. I'm sad that I didn't just go with my gut. But I'm also pleased that the actual real Sam Adams was the better tasting one, in my opinion.
I'm getting like such happy flashbacks drinking this beer. Like back to the day when I was just like, I don't like beer. Wait, what is this magical amber elixir that's like actually amber, not that weird yellow fizzy stuff? Like it's like this is what made me like beer.
If this is like RuPaul's Drag Race, I would boot the Shepherd Neame and I would toot the real one. Like, this is like toot a boot. This one's a toot. This one's a shoot. And this one's a boot. This is sad.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shepherd Neame, this is the time for you to go. Please sashay away.
I'm sorry. Sam Adams, Shantae, you stay.
Yes. Shepherd Neame, sashay.
I'm sorry.
Away.
I'm sorry, my dear. Sashay away. It just makes me sad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sad that it's not like that they're doing Sam Adams dirty, but I'm happy that the Sam Adams actually was the quality one in the end, because I would have been like so sad if you were like, actually, the one that's really good is not Sam Adams.
And do you know what? This is the thing, right? Because I've been trying to brew my own Vienna lager, and my Vienna lager is tasty. It's not. I was trying to do a clone of Sam Adams, and it's not coming out right.
You're like, it's not Sam Adams.
It's not Sam Adams. It's tasty. It's not Sam Adams. And it's because of my water. I can 100% tell you now, it is because of my water.
That's fair. Need to
find a way to stop my water.
I think it's worth saying as well, like a lot of breweries, or maybe not a lot of them do it, but breweries have the ability to be able to sort of do like water surveys. I think the thing is maybe not.
I mean, as a home brewer, you can try and find that information out as well.
I think maybe it's not as like either commonly publicized, or maybe people don't do it because it is, at the end of the day, depending on the beer you're brewing, it almost kind of like for them doesn't make from what I hear, and I could be completely wrong, people tell me if I am, but I hear it's quite expensive to do the analysis of the water itself, like to send it away and do like a proper analysis of it. So you can get like a level of knowledge to a degree, but to get one that's like a very specific to your pinpointed location, and have a list come back with like an extensive list of everything about your water profile, it is more expensive. And I think like, you know, probably a lot of places just go, at the end of the day, I'm gonna make this beer, it's, you know, not gonna matter if it's got this specific mineral in it or not, kind of thing. But yeah, I think like if you're homebrewing, you're trying to make something specific, and the water is drastically, like hard water already is going to be different to soft water. So if you're trying to replicate something made with soft water and you're home brewing and you don't have the means to even do like water treatment, because you will get some breweries that have like water treatment facilities, like I want to say, and I could be completely, I probably should fact check this, not going to do it. I think Polly's and Siren both have the water treatment facilities. The reason I say that is I know Siren did a big thing on water treatment, and I think they got that from Polly's, if I remember correctly. I am going to fact check this now. Hang on. Because I want to make sure that it is, that's what that water treatment is doing. Because if not, it's like, yeah, we have this water treatment facility, and then they're like, but actually that's nothing to do with why we have it. My bold statement I just made, I can't verify the Polly's thing because I'm not 100% sure. I just know that it came about from a Siren collaboration with Polly's, but I have just Googled just to double check. And yes, they invested, this was back about a year ago now, they invested in water treatment equipment.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if it's because like they like to do their West Coast IPAs and that requires replicating
because that's
water profile
different type of water profile as well.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is they got their water treatment kit at the brewery. So I can give you this link, Joe, that you can share that talks about
put it in the show notes.
And put it in the show notes, and they talk about the collaboration that they did with Polly's, which is why I was like, I'm fairly certain if I remember correctly, it came out Polly's also
they were involved somehow.
Does a lot about their water treatment. I think that's the one I haven't verified, but I've definitely verified the Siren one. So yeah, just very interesting how it's like it can just have such a big impact. I mean, like it's just the profile itself, like
water chemistry,
the equipment.
Water chemistry is huge. Like there's literally, so if you are into your beer books, there's a set of beer books that are called hops, malt, yeast, water. Of all of those books, the water one is the most complex. And like brewers have told me, they're like, yeah, I read that. It's very in-depth and very complex. Water chemistry is massive. Like just water in general in beer is such a fundamental thing. And it's like, you've got to get the right thing for what you want to make. And as we have just proved by trying these two beers, you can completely change a beer by the water that you use in it.
Yeah.
So
one
it's massive.
Sucks and one's great.
Anyway, I don't want to drink all of mine because I'm sat here having lovely memories of this.
Yeah, I'm just happily drinking one of them. I'll let you figure out which one it is I'm drinking. But yeah, no, I like I said, like you could pay, like some breweries pay for the actual reports to come back, some of them pay for actual equipment. And yeah, I was right as well. The one in Siren, it's like they've got hard water, we've got hard water in the area, and this strips back that hardness to make it a bit softer so they can sort of do a bit different stuff with it, which is really cool. So I don't know, there's got to be some way, I don't know, Joe, you might know, is there different ways to play around with it as a home brewer? Like could you use a filter? Like this sounds really
there
stupid,
are,
you can use filter. So I don't know, you
can just buy bottled water. You can add a Camden tablet, which will like takes out bits. I'm not 100% sure what that does. I think that's,
we did not research this. This was
we
just
didn't
a question
research.
on
She's hitting me on the fly here. Camden tablet will change the water chemistry. I think it makes it softer if you've got hard water. If you are in a area with water that is not permanently hard, you could boil it before you use it. You can use distilled water instead. So there are things that you can do. Like you can't get into the whole, like some breweries have like reverse osmosis systems that change the water profile. Like you couldn't do that on the scale of home brewing, but there are things you can do. Yes.
I just want to showcase, if you're watching the video, I just want to showcase the best one. So well, anyway, this has been insightful.
Yeah, we've been waiting to do this for a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of like, yeah, it's quite a few months on since I bought these, and that's, like I said, when I was making the decision, I was like, oh, this one tastes a bit like weird, something about it's weird, and I was like, maybe it's the actual one because I've had it for a while, sort of thing. So yeah, we have been waiting to do this for a while. We thought it'd be really cool, and yeah, it's interesting. So I mean, it just took me having to get to the US for us to be able to do it, and then having super busy schedule and having to fit it in before the beer went too bad. So
yeah, it's still tasting great.
It is tasting great.
Yeah, it's good. If anyone can work out how I can get a constant supply of actual Sam Adams from the US, let me know.
I mean, I can send this back with my parents and get a 5-cent deposit.
Way.
I pay. I mean, it's not even let's just be real. It's not even a 5-cent deposit, or a 5-cent refund. I paid that 5-cent deposit, and this is basically like I've just lost 5 cents. I've lost 10 cents because there was two of them. So that's 10 cents that I'm not getting back. So
technically, you lost 20 cents because you gave me an Oktoberfest and a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, I got you the
one as well.
jack-o'-lantern one.
Yeah,
and then I also had the Oktoberfest over here. So it's like
that's 25 cents.
So many cents.
That's a whole quarter.
I've lost nearly $0.25 on these Sam Adams beers that I did not return. Thanks, Joe. It's a tough world out there. And I'm 25 cents less. So
anyway, if people want to speak to you about recouping your quarter there, where can they talk to you, Tori?
Yeah, if you want to talk about like the differences in our recycling processes of US and UK bottles and cans, and the good old deposit, or you want to talk to me about the superior of the two beers and which one you'd rather drain pour, feel free to message me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism. I never put my actual email in there, but I'll throw it out there because I feel like you do all the time, and I like never get email, so I'm like,
have to do a new
I'll
graphic.
just do it. So then my email is adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com. So not that I expect to get any emails, but that's there if you want it. And then obviously you can reach us on the podcast at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com, or we are a women's brew on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'm just getting used to saying all that because I feel like Joe gets to do a lot of run-throughs, and then mine's just like, mine's an Instagram buy. So I've just decided to start plugging the rest of those because I feel
you're also on TikTok. So you always forget to tell people that you're on TikTok.
Because my TikToks, I don't post that much because I lack the patience. Because I will spend like a whole 20 to 30 minutes trying to like record and edit something, and then it ends up 1 second out of sync, and then I'm like, fuck this TikTok account. So I hate it. So that's why I don't plug it. But I mean, there's some good stuff. There's my dog on it, whatever. I'm on TikTok.
Phelan's on there being sassy.
She's always sassy. So Joe, if people want to talk to you more about the actual science behind water profiles, not just what's shit and what isn't, where can they talk to you?
I mean, water profiles are very complex, so that could be a long conversation. You can come and talk to me about this.
If someone wants to say Gosana to you,
if someone wants to say Gosana to me, or you want to come and like talk to me about this fabulous glass of Sam Adams that I have here, you can find me at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning, and we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest. We also have a website, which is Love. I say we, and it's not we, it's me. I have a website.
Don't confuse anyone. It's not both of us. It's not you and anyone else.
I have a website. It is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and you can see how you could work with me if you'd like to learn all these lovely skills that I've just showcased, trying these different beers. And we also have an email address, which is lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. So come and say hi, because we'd love you to. So on that note,
Gosana in the highest, Joe.
Gosana.